if you're coming here for the Super Bowl, I think it's going to be a good time. I don't know what we're going to do yet.
It depends on who's in the Super Bowl. If the Niners are in the Super Bowl,
you're going to be down there at the Bellagio swimming.
I'm going to find a way.
In the fountain.
I'm going to find a way.
If the 49ers are in the Super Bowl here,
I'm going to find a way.
Ain't nobody going to be able to live with you.
You got to have your one thing. Everybody needs
just your one thing.
One thing that they just go dumb about.
Definitely.
Sometimes it's sports, sometimes it's concerts, sometimes it's...
That's true, because I went dumb with that Usher concert. I'm not going to lie to you. My Lord.
Dog,
and he's gonna be at the Super Bowl, and you know what?
Wait a minute, how Usher... Well, he didn't pull up on you, but he might as well. But...
Well, welcome back, everybody. I'm Nicci.
And I'm Jameen.
And you are at home with the Willises. Hey, babe.
How you doing?
Good. This is our second episode, literally at home.
Two.
So I'm really excited. We're increasing our setup, and I'm really feeling professional.
Getting it popping.
You're not that excited.
You said I'm really excited.
Oh, all right. Well, you got to match my energy. All right. This is about the best we're going to get. I'm just telling you.
Let's just get into it.
All right. Well, you didn't want me to start the episode. We're getting sued. So.
We're not getting sued. And let's tell the people why we're not getting sued in particular.
Okay. We're not getting sued. But if.
Subsection getting sued.
All right. So we are not getting sued. But in the real estate industry, folks are getting sued.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So give everybody a rundown of what's going on here.
So most realtors who are in the United States are part of an organization called NAR. It's the National Association of Realtors.
Yes.
So the NAR had a lawsuit, and they basically who was it against? Who was the person?
You know what? Who?
They.
It was
they.
Yeah.
It was they.
The plaintiff.
Yeah. So an organization sued NAR and basically said that they should have the right, or people should have the right, to list the property for sale and not offer any compensation for a buyer's agent, or what we call a selling agent, to get paid. So they wanted the right to put zero when you go to look up a property, and it talks about, okay, if you have a realtor that represents you in a transaction, they wanted the right to have zero on there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and just so you guys know, right now, currently, in the United States, the way it works is, if I am selling my home, I am actually responsible for everybody's commission. So on the buyer side right now, the buyer's agent gets paid through the commission from the seller's side. So buyers actually do not pay a commission to be represented by an agent. So in this case, what they're saying is, no, that needs to be the responsibility of the buyer to hire their own agent and pay their own agent. And then on the seller side, we hire our agent to represent just us. So this is interesting and kind of puts everybody in a pickle. Now, so essentially, I mean, through the NAR, the brokerages were sued. So if you've heard of, Coldwell Banker, Remax, who else? Keller Williams,
ERA,
Sotheby's, right?
Century
21, like all the brokers.
Yeah.
Basically got sued. Now, some brokers went ahead and settled and just decided, we're gonna just pay it out. So that was to the tune of $140 million.
Right.
$140 million. Ooh, that's a lot of money. Now, some brokers decided to move forward with the trial, and they lost.
Right. You know who won in the whole thing? The lawyer
who represented the plaintiff. That's what I'm talking about. Nobody want to talk about the lawyer.
The lawyer fee. He got paid millions just.
I mean, because
the case.
No, so you know the amount, right?
I forget that.
$1.8 billion they're on the hook for right now. Now, of course, they're going to fight it and everything else. But they got accused of essentially like banding together and saying, we're only going to, or, the commission is going to be 6%, 5% ish, right? And it's been swimming around there forever. Now, the rule is, and this is all part of our code of ethics and code of conduct and all the things, is that your fees are negotiable, right? Your real estate fees are negotiable. So could they be 7%? Could they be 20%? Could they be 1%? Yeah, they can, because they're negotiable with every single person that you encounter. But what kind of has happened is it's more become more like industry standard. And that's what they're saying. That's one of the problems, if you will, in addition to the fact that sellers are also basically paying buyer's agents, and they don't feel that that's right. So who's getting paid out here? The lawyer, 100%.
I think the lawyer got paid like 80 million, something like astronomical number. Yeah, he got broke off like real good.
Listen, I'm out here trying to calculate if I can get $80 million.
Yeah. But it's the whole thing of small business versus big business and technology taking over. So, like we said, AI is taking over everything now. Yeah. So you have these big companies, and I can't not name companies, but you got Amazon, you got Zillow, you got these huge companies that they took data and technology, merged them together, and they make mistakes or they mess up, and then they eventually figure it out. I mean, this is another like moving the goalposts, not in a good direction for them to eventually be able to take over. Because if you can, same thing with Amazon, the mom and pop electronic stores and Circuit City and all these places that used to exist. Just go on Amazon, press a button, it'll be here today. I order something today. Toys R Us. They put Toys R Us back in where they put it? Macy's? Or?
Is it in Macy's, Jen?
Macy's, yeah. So,
but it's like a small little pocket. Toys R Us used to be.
They out here treating realtors like Toys R Us, babe. They trying to treat us like Toys R Us.
Here's the thing, and so obviously I'm in favor of hiring a real estate professional. Number one, if you need a root canal, you gonna go in there and do it yourself? If you need surgery, major or minor, are you going to administer are you going to be the anesthesiologist? Are you going to cut your own self open? Mm-hmm. In real estate, buying and selling a home, like that's really like essentially going to be like one of your biggest purchases that you'll ever make in your life. And I understand what, these other companies like Zillow, Realtor.com, all the things they're trying to do as far as, take us out of the picture. Much like how technology has taken many professionals out of the picture. I mean, look at a car, on an assembly line when they had the whole big boom of, manufacturing.
Motown and
Detroit,
all
the things. You had hundreds of people touching that car to put it together. Now, I mean, you got you have a few people touching the car now, and everything else is, mechanics and arms and everything like that. And I get it. It helps with the consistency of, the product or whatever, the service. But, as technology now is touching our industry, it's concerning for me because, again, this is the biggest purchase that you're ever going to make, and that is what technology, when it comes to what's most important to you, like what's in here. Mm-hmm. AI can't really touch. I know they're trying to, and I get it. They're trying to get motives and everything else. Honey, you talk about, I need fuzzy socks. All of a sudden, everything on your time feed says fuzzy socks and all the things. They're trying to anticipate what your needs and things like that are. When it comes to buying a home, though, it's different, and you need a professional to help guide you through that. On the flip side, though, I guess on the plaintiff side, at the end of the day, we got to show what our worth is. And it's not us just throwing something up, throwing a house up on the market, throwing it all over the MLS. Obviously, it's going to end up on Zillow anyway, and not doing anything else.
That's actually who does less in the transaction is the actual listing agent. Because if you really be honest about it, you have to do marketing to get a listing or get a client, period. But a lot of realtors just get a listing, throw it up on MLS, and just hope somebody else sells it and they get a commission. But the best way I can explain it is like when we do our home ownership seminars. When you buy a house, it's similar to going to court. And when you go to court, you have a lawyer that represents one side, and then you have a lawyer that represents the other side. In the case of buying a house, the seller who is selling their house is paying the commission. So they're trying to get the maximum amount of money for the person selling the house. The listing agent is. They don't care about you negotiating closing costs, the price of the house down. You need your own agent that represents you, that's trying to get you the best price, the best terms, negotiate the closing costs and things like that. Yeah. Because it's like going to court and you got Johnny Cochran or whoever the top lawyer is right now versus a public defender. Yeah. So that's why you still need representation, and us as realtors have to be knowledgeable to where we're more of a consultant than a person just opening doors or driving around showing houses. Truly. But it's going to separate the people that are knowledgeable, that keep up with information, that have strategies, that can really consult people and tell people, here's the best, based upon my expert opinion, here's what I recommend that you do. But they've been threatening the real estate industry for years. They were like, in 5 years, they're going to get rid of the realtor role. In 10 years, they're going to get rid of the realtor role. But similar to lawyers, like, you're just not going to go to court and just
represent yourself. It's not wise.
It's kind of the same thing, because everything is not cookie cutter in real estate. Every trend, like even when you first got into business, you was like, okay, well, what do I do this? I said, well, every real estate transaction is different. Every buyer's needs is different. Like if you love Whole Foods and you want to go to farmers markets, it's probably not best for you to be living on the strip. You know what I mean? So it depends on what your needs are, and you need somebody that can give you advice on what to do for your particular situation.
Yeah, I agree. I was, I tell people, especially the people that want to get into this market, like real estate, and I think that's also been one of the issues. It's one of the easiest industries to get into, but one of the hardest industries to stay in, because once the barriers to entry are very, very low. You study maybe 2 to 6 months, you take a test, and you're in. You just hang your license with a broker. But to stay in the industry, you got to study this stuff. Oh, yeah. You got to be in the know. You got to know, what down payment assistance programs are out there. You got to know about creative financing. You got to know, resale versus new construction. And all this stuff is changing all the time. Yeah. So you have to be able to change strategies and all the things. And that is why I say interview your professionals. And so stay tuned. We're going to have our real estate minute at the end of this episode. And we're going to talk about, I've got five like must have questions to interview a real estate agent. So y'all stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. But anyway, so the real estate industry is kind of up in arms, getting sued and things like that. But at the end of the day, the power is in the hands of the consumer. Do your due diligence, interview, do the whole thing, because at one point, it could be in the buyer's hands to hire their own agent and pay for it.
It's also going to make it more expensive to buy a home because
Yep.
a buyer already has to come up with their
The
down
down
payment.
payment.
They have to get an inspection.
Yep.
They have to get an appraisal.
And
Now,
that's
on
gonna be
top of
big.
that, they'll have to pay for a consultant or their own selling agent. So it makes buying a house a little bit more difficult.
Yep.
And that's the major issue. Same thing with having a public defender. If you don't have money to pay for a lawyer, you get a public defender. It's not
They
the
ain't gonna
same
do-
as
yeah, they ain't gonna
hiring
do-
an attorney. So I think that's going to be a challenge. We already have to deal with inflation,
Yeah.
prices going up,
Yep.
interest rates going up. Now, on top of those potential obstacles, you have the obstacle of now have to come up with money to pay my realtor or pay for expert advice for buying a house.
Yeah.
It's getting interesting.
It
It's
is.
getting interesting.
Speaking of getting interesting, it is the year of our Lord 2023. And we are still talking about redlining.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Wow.
We saw that come up on the it was
yeah
real
on our feed. So Ameris Bank, they're based out of Georgia, but this happened in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, I believe.
Jacksonville.
And they have been accused of redlining. Now, baby, explain redlining just so that everybody knows.
Oh, so
What-
everybody doesn't know what redlining
What that
is.
means.
So redlining is basically if you take a map of an area. So this particular place in Jacksonville, I've never been to Jacksonville before.
Yeah.
But let's say there's an area called Brownsville within Jacksonville. And redlining is you draw a line around a particular area
Yep.
and you don't lend money
To
to people in that particular area. So it's like, let's take it local here. So let's say you got Las Vegas and you have Henderson. And so if somebody drew a line around the map of the city of Henderson, and because there were predominantly African American or predominantly
Black and
Hispanic,
brown people,
the bank said we're not going to lend money, or they can apply, but we're going to deny loans in this particular
terrible.
area. So that's what redlining is. It's basically outlining a particular area
Yeah.
and avoiding that area to do business in or to give money or loans to.
Yeah. 2020. 2023. Now, redlining is illegal. Like, you can't do that. So the fact that they had enough, information to pick this up and say and accuse a bank of doing this,
I believe it.
I believe it too. Doggone it.
Well, the reason why I believe it is you have the United States of America, but you have all these individual states that have state-specific laws and things that go on. So just like even where we live in the city of Henderson,
Yeah.
I was just talking to me and Jim was just talking about filing an eviction. So if you file an eviction in Henderson versus filing an eviction in the city of Las Vegas, the time difference is a big difference. And then you have some really small towns. I remember I was trying to help my family in Tennessee do something, and the same person, it was like the lawyer
It was like Mayberry.
worked at a funeral home.
Right.
Like it was the same
And it
person.
was the sheriff,
like
too.
4 or 5 different things.
And the mayor, right. Yeah.
And, it's still got those small towns like that. And it's like, if you don't know Earl or you don't grease Earl's palms, you're not going to get something done. So you got state-specific laws. And then also that bank I've never heard of. So I don't know every bank, but it's not Chase or Wells Fargo or.
They sound more like a regional bank. Because, they're based out of Georgia. So it must be like a southern.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them either.
Yeah.
But they settled for $9 million for redlining a predominantly Black and Hispanic neighborhood in Jacksonville.
And so, in addition to being accused, well, no, they've been not accused, but they were found. They settled.
They settled.
Okay, so they settled. So
something was wrong there.
That's basically an admission of guilt, basically, right?
Yeah.
In addition to them redlining, they didn't have any branches in the area that they got accused of redlining either. So it's
Yeah.
basically like,
They're not willing to take your money, give you a
to
loan,
even
nothing.
apply for a loan, you had to drive across town to even apply for a loan with this particular bank.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean,
they basically said stay over there. That's what they said.
I mean, I wonder what, I guess that's the Department of Justice. I wonder what they're going to do. I mean, because that's just like a civil case, but like, there's no criminal, nothing.
But okay, go back to the NAR thing and what we talked about representation. Yeah. You have things like redlining still going on in 2023, and you're not gonna have a realtor to represent you. Ooh. So you could have Jameen. You can have Joe Schmo sending you to Ameris Bank, where you're gonna automatically get denied for a loan because you don't know what bank to go to get pre-approved for a mortgage, but a knowledgeable, experienced realtor does. That's so that's why our that's job security right there. Yeah. And that's one of the biggest things is you more of a consultant because that's what happened even when I first got into real estate. Yeah. I had clients come to me and say, hey, I was working with this guy and he showed me 3 houses and he told me I needed to pick one of those because he wasn't going to show me a whole bunch of houses. And I needed to pick one of those 3 houses that he showed me. And they was like, well, I wanted to see more houses or I didn't like them, but he told me he could, the realtor told me he was only going to show me 3 houses and I had to pick one of those. So it's just like, things like that you have to deal with. It's like, what if all 3 of those houses were outside of that particular person's price range?
Yeah. I would also wonder, like, why is he picking the ones? That's interesting. Hey, however you move. But listen, like, interview your realtor. That's what I'm saying. You got to figure out how they operate out here.
Yeah, or if you need a particular loan product and the listing realtor, or you don't know what bank to go to get. So you need a VA financing. Loan or a veteran loan. The difference between the VA loan could mean you not putting a down payment and having your down payment and saving for a rainy day or new furniture or moving expenses or something like that versus not paying the down payment at all. So that's the benefit of having representation.
Well, it sounds like Ameris Bank needs to clean house.
Absolutely.
And speaking of cleaning house, baby, the Raiders did just that.
They did.
And I think it's working. Can we talk about it?
They got the W.
They did.
Yeah, they got the win.
Okay, so who got fired and who got hired?
The Raiders, so they, first of all, they were interviewing the players, and the players were like,
you would have thought they won the Super Bowl.
No. Before this happened.
Oh,
they were like super duper frustrated. Yeah. They like, I don't know what to tell you. They basically like,
I'm here so I won't get fined.
Basically, yeah. So.
But, what was their record before this? It was like 50%, right?
No.
Oh, they
were like, let me see.
I really follow football, guys.
2 and I think they're 2-6.
Good God.
So they won about 2 games.
Okay. Yeah, they needed to clean house.
Yeah, so they won about 2 games and then they started losing repeatedly in a row.
So they got rid of Josh.
So Mark Davis, which is the owner, he got.
By the way, I passed him on the street.
I was in the car with you, babe.
You were with me. Okay,
we passed him.
I'm sorry. You were. Was Jonathan in the car too?
We need to Google and find what's his infatuation with white.
Yeah,
he had a white Aston Martin.
That is nice.
He wears white blazer.
Yeah. But you know what? When you're a billionaire, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
I'm trying to see what.
Shout out to Mark Davis wearing his white. I would suggest maybe a different color.
I gotta get the record.
3 and 5. Okay, 3 and 5.
Yeah. So they won the game, which improved to 4 and 5, but they had high hopes for this year. So, anyways, they fired the head coach.
That's Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels. Oh, name dropping today. Okay. All right, you've been watching a little Sports Center this week.
You know what? I do that so I catch.
They fired the general manager.
Yes. What's his name?
I can't remember.
David. Is it David?
No.
And
now I'm making things up. They benched the starting quarterback, former 49er, Jimmy G.
I like Jimmy G.
I like Jimmy G, but he's like real fragile. He's
He
like,
breaks easily. That's true.
yeah,
He breaks easily. You know what? Just he probably ain't eating right. Somebody with some like he need to eat like some greens and some, you know,
he's a great quarterback,
turkey
like
necks and
a
some-
like a.
he's just. I think
no,
he just.
I don't
needs
think
to
he's. I'm not
and
comparing
some
him to Tom
vitamins. He
Brady.
need a
I'm
vitamin
not.
pack.
I'm not comparing him to Tom Brady in any stretch of the imagination, but he's the type of
Where we going with
quarterback that
this?
needs to stay in the pocket and he can't scramble. Don't let him get
Just
hit
let him
hard.
throw.
So if he can stay in the pocket like Tom Brady and not take a lot of hits,
Yeah.
you're gonna do well. But if he has to scramble and run
So what do we
and
call him?
go outside the
glass
pocket,
The glass quarterback.
he has glass body. As they say, glass jaw. He has a glass body, legs, and ankles, and shoulders.
Well, is he
and
healed
things
now?
like that.
He's just.
But I
benched?
like Jimmy. Jimmy G can be a good quarterback in the right
He might
system.
be one of those.
So, anyways,
coaching players.
they fired the coach. They
Yeah.
fired the general manager.
Yeah,
and
and they
then
benched
they
Jimmy
moved a defensive guy,
Yes.
Antonio Pierce, up to
That's
the
right.
interim head coach.
Yeah, I like him. I like his grit.
Yeah.
Give me somebody that's going. He's like, we're gonna win.
And then
Period.
they have an interim general manager. And then they started the rookie quarterback. I think his name is O'Donnell.
Let me see. As if I know who I'm
O'Connell,
looking for.
O'Donnell. We'll get his name in a second. But
Okay.
he was a rookie quarterback.
Uh-huh.
Started them, and they got the win.
They did.
Now, I like the boy Max Crosby. I ran into him in Cigar Lounge.
Okay.
So he bought cigars for the whole team because they won after they
one game.
played the one game. You would have thought they won the Super
whole
Bowl.
Super
They were in the
Bowl.
locker room turned up.
Yeah, they were.
They had cigars.
Listen, when it's been a dry spell like that,
But
I
the
get it.
Raiders, they looking like the weakest link right now. You got the Aces, two-time
back-to-back champs.
season. We're season ticket holders.
We love the Aces. Shout out to the Aces. I hope they can come to the house.
Absolutely.
Why not? That'd be fun.
Well, I might be a little too I'll work on it.
You would be starstruck.
Depends on who comes. Depends on who all over here.
Oh, it's okay, boo.
So so you got the
And
Aces.
you got
they win the
yeah.
whole thing twice.
Right, you got the Golden Knights.
The Golden Knights, they won the Stanley Cup.
And folks went crazy. Look, folks love hockey out here.
Oh yeah, they love the hockey.
I don't know if it's like the desert weather or what, but man,
I think it's like bigger than any other. Like
people are diehard.
I didn't even know that many people watched hockey.
Man, we've got.
We didn't watch hockey.
We didn't
until
until.
they came here, and then it was a big deal. Like
Okay.
the city needed them.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
Jen, you've been here since college, so yeah, you've seen the progression of. At first, everybody was just like,
Games, and like I couldn't have cared less about hockey.
yeah,
But
and
the
now.
city really needed them at that time, and it's Vegas born, just like the Aces. Like you go to an Aces game.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Oh yes, we in there. Aces.
Right.
Aces. We are.
Yeah.
It's a bit cultish.
It's like a
fine.
Cirque show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they got the jerseys on, and even not
the toe.
just the Vegas, the away. Like it's a decent amount of away people at the hockey games
Yeah.
too.
They're fans.
I went to
Real
a hockey
fans.
game about 3 weeks ago, and
like
it was
2 weeks
on
ago.
Nevada Day.
Yeah.
And it was just like I got down
And
there
what
early
because
because
the game was at 3.
I didn't want to get stuck in traffic, and so I was like, man, I'm just gonna post up down here, give me something to eat. Everybody was already down there, just decked out in Golden Knights and
There's folks that was calling
away
out. I can guarantee
teams.
you.
Oh yeah,
I-
and
it
it was
was-
3
it was
o'clock in the
Nevada Day,
afternoon.
but-
It was 3
yeah.
o'clock in the afternoon. Like people didn't care.
No one cares.
about
They're-
middle of the day or none of that.
Yeah.
But so they have a lot of pressure. So the Raiders have their glory days of John Madden and
John Madden played for the Raiders.
he was a coach, and a player. Yeah.
Really?
Don't worry about it.
Wow.
Anyway, so
That's
the
that's
Raiders
why I
have
love
they have a really core audience, and
Yeah.
there's pressure. Las Vegas, we already the entertainment capital of the world. Then we
Yeah.
got all these sports here now,
Right.
and then the
Lacrosse
teams
is
that we
coming back.
have
Yeah. And we're gonna get
are
an
doing
NBA
well.
team.
Yeah,
And there's still I think it's more so the actual stadium itself. We wouldn't mind having a MLB team here.
It's already here. The Oakland
A's.
A's. Now the
A's.
they suck right now.
They are terrible.
We're gonna work on that. When they get here, they gotta.
But that's what I'm saying. We got the Raiders.
Right.
And now they're not looking too good either. So I think that's not going to be good for the Oakland A's who are trying to get here. Like, I need good representation. You know what I mean? We need proof of concept before we bring another team out here. But NBA,
I think we're good with the Aces and the Golden Knights.
But you know what though? I mean, I'm loving it because a city with sports, like people, like that's what brings the local,
vibe. It's like
energy, the local vibe, Yeah,
it's like Vegas has the figure 4 leg lock now. We already had entertainment. And
figure 4 leg lock.
Yeah, it's like you can't get out of that. Ooh. Have you ever gotten out of a figure 4 leg lock?
I don't think I've ever been in a figure 4 leg lock.
So now we didn't watch WWF growing up. Is that what you're saying?
I did watch kind of, but I don't know what that is. But I better not be in a figure 4 leg lock.
Anyway,
nobody but you.
We already were the entertainment capital of the world.
Okay.
And now, with 2 championships, it's like we're becoming the sports capital of the world.
Capital? We got a lot of growing to do if we're going to do that. But I feel you.
Name a city it's rare that you have 2 sports.
Go up the coast of California and you're going to find a whole bunch of teams.
No, but the same year, 2 different sports winning the whole thing.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So we do need the Raiders we need them to step it up. So I'm glad they cleaned house.
I'm a Niners fan. Okay, I'm bang bang Niner gang.
Bang bang Niner gang. I'm
Bay.
married to it.
But I root for my city though.
And I look good in black. I got a Raiders that's why I'm
hat.
down.
I got some Bo Jackson cross trainers.
Yeah.
I got it. I support. So we need some wins.
Okay, so speaking of sports though, this one I'm a little stressed out about. I'll be honest. I'm very stressed out. The F1 racing is coming. As a realtor, I got stuff to do.
It's just
I got appointments to make.
It's traffic.
They're going to shut down all kinds of stuff. They're about to do it. Now, a friend of mine, when she lived in Miami, they did the F1 racing in Miami. Mm-hmm. She said it was horrible. Just saying. She said it was absolutely horrible. Just trying to navigate the city. They had shut things down. You couldn't go, places. So from a local standpoint, I don't know. I'm a little pessimistic about it.
It's like the circus being in town. You know how like they have a carnival and they set up all the stuff for a carnival and then they just pack up and leave.
Yeah, and I felt some kind of way when they took them trees down in front of the Bellagio. Now I don't be down there all the time, but as a local,
was it an obstruction of the view, or was it because they had to build the place for people to watch?
They got to build
that's the same thing.
That's where they're doing. I think the winter. In front of the Bellagio.
And what was the thing where they put a film up where you couldn't watch it in certain buildings?
It could because if you're driving, because traffic will still be trafficking, and they wanted to put a film up so you won't be distracted while you're driving.
Oh,
it's a lot going on.
I thought they were saying they put a film up so people couldn't watch it without being down there, like they had a free view of the F1 from.
No, I think it's just for the drivers. All I'm saying is, y'all doing all this stuff so these cars can speed through these streets. Now, if I'm speeding, I would just like a little hall pass. Just at least, the first.
You're not a race car driver.
I just need a little hall pass. Because if y'all doing 100 miles an hour down.
It's pretty neat, but it's real temporary. So it's just like having the Olympics in your city. Like the city does all this stuff to try to get the Olympics there. And then it's there for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then it's gone. But I guess if you like race car driving, then it's neat.
And maybe that's not I'm not a race car.
It's like a video game. When you go to the arcade and you go on the video game and you see the scenery, like
I lose those every
you
time,
race in the Las Vegas Strip.
You got a lot of desert just up the street.
It's not the same view. It's not the same view.
Okay.
They have Singapore, Miami. It's all about the background.
I feel like somebody's living their Fast and Furious like fantasy right now.
But that's where they got it
at
from.
the expense of
F1. Fast and Furious.
Oh, is that right? Is that right?
No, it's called Formula.
Oh, I was gonna say Jen. Fact check. See,
no,
now we're
it's
gonna have
called-
to start fact checking.
No, that's called
Do
Formula.
we even know what an 8-figure leg
Formula.
lock is?
Formula.
Because I only see 4 limbs. Do we know what an 8-figure leg lock is?
Google it.
I'm
Wrestling.
Jen. Remind me to look that up.
You know, it's Formula One.
Okay. Formula One. Yes, that's what the F.
But you know what I don't like? I don't like the same thing with ice skating, roller skating. You go in a circle over and over and over again. Like, that's so boring. I'm going to watch cars go in a circle over and over and over again. What's fun about that?
Maybe we should go. Not to this one. I think I'm going to be a little too overwhelmed. But maybe we should go to a race and just see what it's about. Just, maybe. We'll try it.
I'm going to root for the Raiders and then go from there.
Yeah, and we need to find us, but we need to find us a car to cheer on. That's what we should do. That could be our start.
Okay.
There we go. I think that'd be fun. So anyway, we'll tell y'all how that goes.
It's great for the Vegas economy, though. So
That's what I was gonna
people
say. It's definitely gonna be a
the
boom.
race, the hotels, the gambling,
Yeah,
the food.
yeah.
So-
Shopping, all the things. So
More
that'll be a huge. The parties.
Viewing parties are going at like $1,000.
Yes.
Just
To be
get
in.
in and watch it on the TV.
Yeah, isn't that something? But you know what? The Super Bowl's coming, which I'm not mad at. Which is probably
Because you watch it.
Yeah,
biased.
it is.
But the Super Bowl is still the biggest thing.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
on
huge.
TV.
So yeah, they're basically gonna snatch that down, and then we got 2.5 months to put up whatever we're gonna do for the Super Bowl.
Well, the stadium is already there.
But yeah, we gotta do other things though. Everybody else is gonna have things to do. So if you're coming here for the Super Bowl, I think it's gonna be a good time. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. Me and crowds, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't like
think
the
I'll be at
crowd.
home.
It depends on who's in the Super Bowl. If the Niners are in the Super Bowl, I'm
You're
going
gonna be down there at the Bellagio swimming.
I'm gonna
in the-
find a
in
way.
in the fountain.
I'm gonna
if
find a
the
way.
49ers are in the Super Bowl here,
I'm going to find a way.
ain't nobody gonna be able to live with you. But that's okay though. That's why I love you.
You got to have your one thing. Everybody needs
That's your one thing.
one thing that they just go dumb about.
You definitely.
Sometimes
Go
it's
dumb on that.
sports, sometimes it's concert.
Well, he didn't pull up on you, but
sometimes
he might
it's-
That's true because I went dumb with that.
But
Usher concert. I'm not gonna lie. It's very close.
My real life,
Lord.
dog,
My
we
favorite
still
And he's
talk
gonna
about
be
Usher
he's gonna be at the
concert.
Super Bowl.
What do
And
I call
you know
Asia
what?
Wilson?
Because
Wait a minute,
you
how
love
Usher?
Asia Wilson. You're like #1 fan. You fangirl. That's what it is.
Yeah,
You
he
fangirl.
pulled up on my
Yeah, on Usher.
WNBA crush.
Usher's taking everyone from
Even my childhood crush, Kenya Moore. He pulled up on Kenya Moore. He just taking all our black women. He taking all our
all three
good
of
black
us.
women.
But he's
He's Mr.
Usher's
Steal
not
Your
letting
Girl.
not
You
letting
know,
the
come with the
men
little
be-
leather jacket and chocolate covered strawberries. I make chocolate covered strawberries
and
too.
they are wonderful, and
You
I
know,
appreciate
on
them. And I
holidays and
love this.
everything.
Is getting out of hand.
You don't talk about them strawberries
I
as much as you
do.
talk about Usher.
Well, I'm sorry.
Usher bucks.
I have my Usher bucks.
I tip too. I got
I got my Usher bucks. But Asia Wilson gave you a signed T-shirt.
No, she tossed it. She
Oh.
did. She looked me in the eye.
She looked you dead in the eye, and she
was
gave
like,
you
"Here
the
you go,
T-shirt.
big fella."
First of all, she never said, "Here you go, big fella."
No, I didn't say she
No,
said.
like-
It was the way she tossed it to me.
Oh, the way she tosses it to you, said,
Yeah, you know, normally
go,
they
big
just
fella.
tossing T-shirts.
Yeah.
They just tossing T-shirts. No, she
But
made eye contact
with you.
and she made sure that she didn't overthrow or underthrow.
Right, she
The way
directly
that she
tossed it
the way
to
she
you.
tossed it to me, it
It
was
said,
like,
"Here
"Here
you go,
you
big
go,
fella."
big fella." You know.
It's
Oh,
implied.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen. This is why I love living in Vegas.
That's right. It is a
Because
wonderful
you
place
pull
to
up
live.
to the intersection. There's Mark Davis. You might just go to Usher concert. You just might see the Aces out Like it's fun here.
Flavor Flav at the grocery
Flavor
store.
Flav gonna be at that grocery store.
Yeah,
Yes,
Smith.
he will.
Yeah.
Yes, he will. But anyway, well, I think that's it. I think that we all talked out.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all all done listening, I'm sure. Oh, wait.
You didn't
Real
do the
estate
real estate
minute.
minute.
Okay, give me a minute then. So at the beginning, we talked about the whole lawsuit and all the things. Now, because of that, it's going to be even more important. You, the buyer, also the seller, but specifically, I'm talking to home buyers. I got 5 interview questions to ask a real estate agent before you hire them. Okay. So number 1, you want to ask the agent how long they've been in the business. That's a simple question. How long have you been in the business? Now, I'm not knocking the ones that have just gotten in the industry. Not at all. But what you want to be listening for is who they're connected to. You know, are they connected to a team? Are they working with someone that if they don't have the answer, they at least know how to get it and where to find it? Number 2.
Wait. Before you go there.
Yeah.
When you talk about that, the reason why that's important is if you haven't come across a problem in real estate, most likely you don't have the answer. So if you're brand new, you haven't had a lot of objections to overcome.
Yeah.
And then when you represent somebody that has that problem, you don't have the solution. So you need to either have the solution or be connected to somebody else who has
the solutions. I agree. I agree. Number 2, ask for a list of references. That is totally okay. Now, I know we can Google and look at the Google profile, look at the reviews and everything else, but a great agent should be able to say, here are 3 people you can call and ask about their experience with working with me. And that's what you want to call and ask about. Hey, I'm thinking about working with such and such agent. I saw that you worked with them. Can you tell me about what your experience was with them? And let them be honest.
I wonder if people use AI for reviews, like just to put some.
Oh gosh, I hope
fake
not.
Reviews
In the world that we live in now, where like Instagram is fake and TikTok and people literally posing like crying and then they're checking to make sure they're on the picture. You know what I mean? Like I hope not. I really, really hope not. But I can't put it past anybody. But that's why I say ask people that have worked with them. Ask for references. Let's see. Number 3, do you specialize in buyers or sellers? You see, some people can be strictly listing agents. Some people can be strictly buyers agents. Some people can have a mix of both. But when you ask people what they specialize in, that's a good question because now you can see, if they understand the language of buyers, are their ears tuned to what buyers are looking for? So that's a really good question to ask. Another question is, what are your hours? How often and when are you available? And this is really important because let's say you're only available at night or on the weekends, but you have an agent that doesn't work weekends. Well, that might not be a good fit for you. When you're looking for a home, you want someone that is okay with working the schedule that you're able to that you have. Hopefully that makes sense. And lastly, how do your fees work? Now remember, right now, currently, buyer's agents are paid through the commission on the seller side, right? When they sell the house, the seller pays that commission. But buyer's agents can also they can also charge admin fees. Mm-hmm. They can charge like little small different kinds of like brokerage fees and all kinds of stuff. So you want to ask them, how do your fees work? And if this whole lawsuit thing goes through with the NRA and the other brokers, that's going to be a really big question because you might have to, begin to understand how to negotiate.
Also, with like for sale by owner, sometimes if you buy for sale by owner, you may have to pay your realtor directly to represent you in the transaction.
Yes, absolutely.
So that may be a good reference with this whole NAR thing.
Yeah.
Just like somebody can pay for sale by, if they're buying a for sale by owner, to have their own representation.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, listen, guys, I am just getting ready to finish this book that I have called Before You Buy, Read This. And these questions and more, all kinds of information for first-time home buyers is in that book. You can check it out on our website at thewillisteamlv.com and sign up and get updates and all the things when this book launches. I can't wait for you guys to read it. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us at Home with the Willises. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that bell somewhere down there below so that you're notified every time that we drop new content. All right, y'all have a great week. We'll see you later. Bye.